Hey guys, welcome. Hope everybody is doing well tonight. It is Monday, right? It is Monday, isn't it? Oh, well, this is our missing person. For anybody new here, this is our missing person Monday live stream. We do this every Monday night, barring anything that comes up unexpectedly to prevent me from doing it. Once again, the farm signal is very, very sketchy. So please let me know if the video image is blurry. Just let me know and I'll just turn off my cam. As long as you can hear me okay. So just let me know if the video and audio, how it is. Hope everybody had a good weekend since we talked last. We were here Saturday night. We made it through Friday the 13th. There's Chris, I believe. Who was it? I just saw it. Yeah, Chris said we made it through. We survived Friday the 13th, barely. So, yes, ma'am, I did. Thank you for noticing. I did get a haircut today. Yes, me and my mom have been out and about most of the day. We had to go to the big city. We had to go to Little Rock or North Little Rock today. She had just a checkup, doctor's appointment. Then we had to go shoe shopping. They opened a new Skechers shoe store in North Little Rock. So we spent like 2 days there, it felt like. And then we had some lunch and we went to the Wally World to get some stuff, do some shopping, and then we came home. So we've had a busy day, but it was good. I enjoy getting out and spending time with Mama. So, but yes, so we did get our haircut also. So, and I came home and had to wash it because, after you get your haircut, it's like all itchy and stuff. Plus, they put that like gel stuff on after they do it, and I don't like that stuff in my hair. But anyway, so that was my day. And now we are here. So hopefully everything will go okay. So let me see who is here. Chris is here. Once again, there we go. Once again, I'm trying to use StreamYard on my laptop and it's iffy. But welcome, Chris. Good to have you here. Once again, Miss Doodle is here. Come up. She's here somewhere. I might have to go to the phone. There she is. Miss Doodle is here. Everybody said their day has been good. Miss Lisa Joe is here. Hello, Lisa Joe. Good to have you, ma'am. As always, Chris said he just worked today. Yeah, I took the last couple of days off. I didn't work. I hadn't been feeling too good the last couple of days. I don't know if it's allergies or my summer cold, but so I took yesterday off, and then, like I said, we were out running errands and such today. But I'm gonna go back to work tomorrow. So, did I miss somebody? Wait a minute. Somebody, who's Hannah? Did I miss somebody? Just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Or Lisa Joe just maybe. If I miss anybody, I apologize. Oh, Chris said then you can go to an Arkansas Travelers game tomorrow night. Oh man, when we were kids, my grandparents used to load all the grandkids up and take us to some Travelers games. It's been a long time now. The Razorbacks, the College World Series is still going on. Of course, they lost to LSU. Was it Saturday night? Because I think I had it on the TV during the live stream. But whoever we played today, we won. But we're still in the losers bracket, so that means we got to keep playing and playing and playing. Yes, it is in North Little Rock. Yep, you're correct. So I don't know when we'll have to play again. Probably. No, we won today. Yeah, we won today, so we'll probably have to play again tomorrow. Like I said, when you're in the losers bracket, you got to keep playing and playing. You don't get any time off. So anyway, there's Miss Barbara Hall. Hello, Miss Barb. Good to see you, ma'am. Always good to see you. So nobody said anything about the video. Like I said, just let me know if it's all blurry or pixelated. Just let me know, and I'll just turn my camera off, because I know it's very irritating trying to watch if everything's all blurry. But it's good to see Miss Barb. It's good to see everybody. Let me see if this ever loaded first before we get in. And tonight we're doing Colorado is the state we're going to be talking about, and I believe I have six cold cases from Colorado. But first, now if anybody has heard any updates on this, there is an Amber Alert out of Norfolk, Virginia. Kai Foreman, a little 4-year-old. I look for updates just right before, or I've been checking for updates all afternoon. As far as I know, he is still, he was abducted, still has not been found. So we're going to talk about him. I'm not going to try to share my screen, but I do have a picture of both little Kai and the alleged abductor, or the abductor, if I can find it. I know, pretty sure I uploaded it. There it is. Someone put it up right now. And there it is. Oh, let me take that comment down right quick so we can see. So I'm going to read first from the NCMEC site. On the right there is little Kai Foreman. He is just 4 years old. The Virginia State Police and the Virginia Missing Children Clearinghouse have issued an Amber Alert on behalf of the Norfolk Police Department for a child abduction that occurred today, 6/16/25 at around 11:40 a.m. The child is believed to be in extreme danger and was last seen at the 900 block of East Liberty Street. Once again, Kai Foreman, he is a 4-year-old black male with black eyes and brown hair. He is 3'6" tall, around 40 pounds. He was last seen wearing red Crocs, blue shorts, and a gray True Religion t-shirt. And on the left is the child is believed to have been abducted by Tylee Nikkei Scott. He is a 27-year-old black male with black hair and small braids, brown eyes, 6'1" tall, 173 pounds. He was last seen wearing khakis, a plaid shirt, and a ski mask. They were last seen on foot. So if you have any information call 911 first and foremost, or you can call the Norfolk Police Department at 757-664-7000. Best bet, like I was watching Miss Doodle's missing hour yesterday, and she, I agree with her. Best bet is just to call 911 if you have any information in any missing cases. But they believe it is connected to, they believe it, and now this is just all, nothing official that I've seen has been reported, and I can't get anything to work. I believe that it is domestic related. Let me find. I had an article, and of course I lost it. Hold on, maybe it'll come up. That the mother of little Kai was just let me find the article and I'll read it. Trying to find the one I had a while ago. Okay, here's one from 2 hours ago. Sorry, everything as usual slow. Oh, come on, you loaded a while ago. But it is believed, or has been said in articles, that the abductor is possibly the child's, little Kai's father, and that he took the life of the mother, of little Kai's mother. Oh goodness, I might have to find another article because this one won't load. But it had more detailed information about the incident that happened at the house. Let me try to find another article. 1 second. I apologize, guys. Let me try this one if it doesn't put me behind a paywall, or if it will load. Oh goodness, once again. Nothing's loading. Let me check your comments right quick. Well, I'm waiting to see if it'll load. Yes, the Razorbacks beat Murray State 3-0. Yes, Gage Wood threw almost. Yes, one of our pitchers threw almost a perfect game. There's Arctic. Hey, buddy, how are you doing? Good to see you. Yes, Chris says I've seen this, and I hope that the child is found safe. Absolutely. Yeah. Why? Yeah. Why do you need the ski mask in June? To hide your identity. Yep. Absolutely. All right. Let me see if this article ever loaded. Dang, no, it didn't. Come on, give me something that will load. Let me see if this one will load. Once again, I'm leaving these pictures up while I'm trying to get anything to load. I may have to just shut down my StreamYard on my laptop to see if that'll help. Oh, goodness. It is good to see everybody here. Oh, come on. Now, these articles were loading when I was looking at them earlier. Anyway. But if I can't get, but anyway, the most important information is that it is believed that little Kai has been abducted by possibly this is his father, and allegedly the father or the man on the right, Tylee GSW, took the life of little Kai's mother. It's just a tragic situation all the way around. Once again, nothing's loading. I hope my articles will load for the cases tonight. Oh, goodness gracious. Hold on. So anyway, let me see something. Let me see if it's just the sites or if it's everything. Oh my goodness. Just gonna check my phone for comments because nothing's loading on nothing's loading. Hey Mustang 65, good to see you. Always good to see you. Thank you. Miss Doodle is getting in some links. Yes, I heard about that. The craziness, they found the offender in the all right. I'm just gonna have to shut down this and just start all over again. Once again, I apologize, guys. People are going, there's 12 people here, and they're probably going, what is going on? I shut down. There we go. Okay. So once again, it was StreamYard on my laptop that was slowing everything down. So now let me see if I can get a article to load about a little Kai. Maybe. If not, we'll just move on. And I did post on Facebook and my community tab. I did post this picture and the information. Nope. Oh, it's loading. Okay, so this is from WTKR website. It was posted, I think, 2 hours ago. Police have issued an Amber Alert for a missing 4-year-old boy who they believe was abducted following a shooting in Norfolk, Virginia, Monday. An Amber Alert was issued for Kai Foreman around 2:41 p.m. Monday. Police say he was abducted at around 11:40 a.m. by 27-year-old Tylee Scott, and they believe that the child, Kai, is in extreme danger. Police told News 3 that Foreman, little Kai, was last seen wearing a gray and black True Religion shirt, black basketball shorts, and red Crocs. He is 3 foot 6 inches tall and 40 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. Once again, he's on the right side of this slide up there. Tylee Scott, the abductor, on the left there, 6'1", 173 pounds, black hair in small braids, brown eyes. He was last seen wearing khakis, a plaid shirt, and a ski mask. The two were last seen on foot, according to police. Police say the child abduction is connected to a shooting that happened earlier Monday around 11:35 a.m. Officers responded to the 900 block of East Liberty Street, which is the address where Kai was last seen. A woman was found lying in the front yard of a home, according to police. She was pronounced deceased at the scene. It is believed that this lady is little Kai's mother. Police did not, in this article, it says police did not specify what the relationship is between the child and Scott, but they say that the two know each other. Police also say they believe that the incident is not a random act of violence. Norfolk Police Chief Mark Talbot says, we believe that this was a targeted event. Anyone with information is encouraged to call 911 or Norfolk Police at 757-664-7000. You can also leave an anonymous tip with the crime line at 1-888-LOCK-YOU-UP. I like that. Lock you up. So like I said, in other articles, I don't think it's officially been, but another article I read said that it is believed that, once again, the woman that was killed is little Kai's mother, and that the abductor, Tylee Scott, is Kai's father. So at any rate, the most important thing is getting little Kai back safely. So we hope that will happen soon. All right. All right. Once again, forgive me. I'm going to have to work off my phone. So now I have to get down to where I can't get there. There it is. Now. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. There we go. Take that down. All right. So hello. I'm back, everybody. Once again, let me know if the picture quality is not good. I will just turn my cam off. All right, so we covered little Tylee, or little Kai. Tylee is the abductor. Let me get caught up in your comments again. Let me go ahead and put my slideshow up. Oh, no, not that. That's the wrong one. Hold on. Once again, if I use my stylus instead of my big fat fingers, I could get the right one. There we go. That's the right one. Okay. It's starting off swimmingly. I have my dumpster fires, but I think I need Miss Doodle's train wreck thing that she has. Let me get caught up again. I think somebody snuck in on me. Yes, Mr. JP is here. Come on. He's here somewhere. There he is. Hello, JP. Good to see you, sir. Let's make sure I didn't. Oh, Miss. Oh, goodness. Is that the right one? Miss Farr is here. Hello, Miss Farr. Good to see you all the way from Australia. Oh, JP says, forgive me, I'm trying to read off the little screen. Good to see you guys. Wish I could stick around, stuck at work. It's all right. It's all right. However long you can stay is all good. Getting caught up. Oh, Miss Farr has been a member for 9 months. She says, love to you all. Love back to you, ma'am. And it may take me a minute on the phone, but I will find. Oh, goodness. I will find. Oh, I passed it. There we go. The moo. I don't know how it sounded there, but the moo cow sounded kind of sick there. Anyway, thank you, Miss Farr. That was very, very sweet of you. And a member for 9 months. Yes, yay for Miss Farr. I think I saw Junior. Yeah, there's Junior. Hello, Junior. And where's he tonight? He's still in Michigan. Good to see you, sir. Junior says, hello, everyone. I'm too lazy to type everyone's name. I feel you. I feel you, Junior. Oh, goodness. Far loves the cow. Absolutely. All right. I am caught up. So let me mark right there and we will get started. Let me get make sure it's going to load. It loaded a while ago. Everything started loading after I was shut down StreamYard on my laptop. So that was the problem. All right. So first, we have Brian Dale Ambrose. He has been missing since September 9th. No, excuse me, September 8th, 1982 from Colorado Springs, Colorado. He is a white male. He was just 23 years old when he went missing. He will be 66 years old today, or as of 2025. At the time he went missing, he was 5'7" to 5'8" and 155 to 170 pounds, with sandy blonde hair and hazel eyes. It says he does have a slight gap between his 2 upper front teeth. Does not give the last known clothing description. So Brian was last seen in Colorado Springs on September 8th, 1982. He left the Rainbow Motel in the 3700 block of West Colorado Avenue. He was en route to the Denver, Colorado metro area. Authorities believe he met a man named Carlos Anthony Torres, whose nickname was Cat, because apparently he had a tattoo of a black cat on his left shoulder. And I don't think that they included a picture of who he was meeting. So Brian has never been heard from again after that. On September 9th, the day after, his Ford pickup truck was found abandoned in Pueblo, Colorado, with the license plate missing. One of Brian's acquaintances told authorities that they had been drinking together in Denver, and that Brian was arrested and was unable to post bail. But there is no record of this alleged arrest. So do with that what you will. It says Brian is from Oklahoma. He left his wife of 5 years and their young daughter behind in 1982 when he went to Colorado. Can't talk tonight. To search for a job. The last time he spoke to his wife on the phone, he said he had 3 job prospects and that he missed her and their child, and he wanted them to join him. His wife reported him missing on September 15th. He is missing under suspicious circumstances, and investigators believe that he is a victim of a homicide, and his disappearance remains unsolved. So if you have any information, you can call the El Paso County Sheriff's Office at 719-520-7225. And I believe on these first the first 2, I was not able to find any additional articles or information, but I believe on the rest of them I was able to at least find a little bit. So that is all the information we have on Brian, but it's better than nothing, as we always say. Right, let me check your comments again. Oh, I forgot to take the comment down. Yes, absolutely. Chris says thoughts and prayers for the families who have lost loved ones and have them missing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, everything jumped. Hold on. There's Miss Paula. Oh no, almost deleted Miss Paula. Hate working off the phone. Hey, Miss Paula, good to see you. Yep, considered suspicious. Absolutely. Right. I think I'm caught up. Oh, I hate having to work off the phone. Anyway, all right. So my fingers. Okay. All right. So that was Brian. So next we have. This should be Linda Jeanette Barker. Linda has been missing since April 7th, 1982, also from Colorado Springs, Colorado. She is a white female. She was 29 years old when she went missing. She will be 72 years old as of 2025. At the time she went missing, she was 5'2" and 130 pounds with blonde hair and blue eyes. It says she may use the name Linda Dwyer and or Linda Dwyer Barker. And it says she may wear glasses. So Linda was last seen leaving her residence in the 11300 block of Goodson Road in Colorado Springs on April 7th, 1982. She was driving a blue and white Chevy Blazer with license plate number UA-6471. She has never been heard from again. She was reported missing on April 12th, which was about 5 days after the last time she was seen. A few months later, her vehicle was found at the Stapleton International Airport in Denver, Colorado. And it says this is over an hour and a half from Colorado Springs. But a search of flight passenger lists revealed that she had never boarded a flight out of the airport. So that's not suspicious at all. She is missing under suspicious circumstances. It is uncharacteristic of her to leave without warning, and authorities believe that she also is the victim of a homicide, and few details are available in her case. But if you do have any information, once again, you can call the El Paso County Sheriff's Office at 719-520-7225. And I believe, just let me check to make sure, I do not have any, excuse me. We ate pizza today for lunch. We ate at Cece's Pizza, and it's not agreeing with me. No, I did not have any additional information. Why is everything so wonky on my phone? Yeah, I think there's Arctic says, yeah, Colorado Springs has a lot of missing people, unfortunately. Yeah, I think maybe half of these are from Colorado Springs, actually. Absolutely. Prayers for the missing and their families. Yes, ma'am. All right, so that was Linda. So next, oh, we have a baby. This should be Christopher Enoch Abeyta. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I apologize for anything that I pronounce wrong. Oh, there he is. Okay. Yes, Christopher Enoch Abeyta. Once again, Colorado Springs. He has been missing since July 15th, 1986 from Colorado Springs. He is a white male. He was just 7 months old when he went missing. 2 foot 2 inches, 25 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes. It says he is of Swedish, German, and Spanish descent. His hair may darken to brown or brownish blonde as he grows older. His father and brothers, it says, are all of average to above average height, and Christopher may be also. And the smaller picture there is an age progression to 32. So just a little bit younger. He'll be 39 years old as of this year. So Christopher, now this one is, and I do have an article, or maybe more than one on this one. So in the early morning hours of July 15th, 1986, Christopher's parents could not locate him. They had put him to bed at midnight and found his crib empty in the morning. Their garage door opener was missing, and a basement window was open. Christopher has never been seen or heard from again. At 6:30 a.m., his parents alerted the police. Arriving officers could not find any sign of forced entry, but the front door was unlocked on the night of his disappearance. Now, it may be something, maybe nothing. It all depends on if they routinely left their door locked or unlocked at night. Members of Christopher's family initially seemed like potential suspects in his case. His parents had separated prior to his disappearance, but they were reconciling. And the night of Christopher's disappearance was the first night his father had spent in the home since the separation. His mother failed 2 polygraph exams, but once again, we know, notoriously unreliable, can't be used in court, but it does give maybe a little bit of direction. She attributed her failure of these polygraph tests to withdrawal from tranquilizers, apparently, that she had been taking. It says authorities have not cleared either of the parents of involvement in the case, but they have not charged them in connection either. 3 weeks after he vanished, they drained Quail Lake, which is 3 blocks from the home, to search for the body. They recovered nothing. It says Christopher's family members refused to consider him deceased. They believe he and his guardians, whoever may have allegedly taken him, don't know that he's an abducted child. So Christopher's loved ones operate a site featuring information about his case. Texas and New Mexico top the list of his possible locations. I don't know how they came up with the Texas and New Mexico. According to the website, the family had been receiving hang-up phone calls for about 6 months before little Christopher disappeared. The calls stopped when he vanished, then resumed again several months later. So his sister believes the abductor was a lady named Emma, a woman who had an affair with Christopher's father, and she did have a history of break-ins, and I don't know if she had ever broken into their house or just other houses. Emma maintains her innocence in Christopher's disappearance, and the police have not named her as a suspect. And in 2015, she did win a civil judgment for $150,000 against Christopher's sister for interfering with her employment. So apparently, obviously, these things, if the sister was accusing this lady of abducting little Christopher, it might have had, maybe she got fired or something of that nature. Sometime after Christopher's disappearance, the Colorado Springs Police Department destroyed most of the case evidence. His family accused them of negligence and incompetence in their investigation. His disappearance remains unsolved, obviously. But if you do have any information, you can call the Colorado Springs Police Department at 719-444-7000. So, like I said, I think I do have a couple of articles. Just let me get caught up. Thank you very much for the green. Yes, Arctic says the missing garage door opener means they could have possibly come through the garage as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, he is very, just look at that little face. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, imagine that. Another incompetent department. Yeah, I have an article. I believe one of the articles I have is some of the things, other things that the department has done or not done in the case, alleged by the family. All right, so let me find the article. Stop my cam for a minute while I'm. May take it a second to load. Let's see, which one do I want to read first? Okay, so this one is just a short one. This is from April of 2022. A cold case, who kidnapped Christopher Abeyta 35 years ago. It says there are hundreds of, okay, that didn't have anything to do with it. On July 15th, 1986, the Colorado Springs Police Department said 7-month-old Christopher Abeyta was taken from his parents' bedroom sometime between 12:30 and 2:30 a.m. The home was located on Ashwood Circle in southwestern Colorado Springs. It says foul play is suspected in the kidnapping. The investigation as of 2024 or 2022, it said the investigation into his disappearance remains an active and open investigation with the Colorado Springs Police Department's Missing Persons and Cold Case Unit. In February of 2019, CSPD tested and received results from 3 DNA samples from people who believed that they might be Christopher. However, the results revealed that none of the samples were a match. Christopher's mother, Bernice, passed away of cancer in 2017. His father, Gil, passed away of a heart attack in 2020. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children released an age progression photo, which is the photo on the slide. They use family photos and technology to create a photo of what Christopher might look like at 32 years old. In 2013, the family announced a $100,000 reward for information on the Christopher's kidnapping. Anyone with information, once again, should call the Colorado Springs Police at 719-444-7000 or NCMEC at 1-800-843-5678. You can also contact contact Metro Denver Crime Stoppers at 719-634-7867. All right, so that was just a little bit. They ruled out some people who thought they might be little Christopher, which is important to do. Absolutely. Let's see. See if this is the one I just read or a different one. See if this has any different information. This one just had some comments from. So this is from July of 2024. The search for answers continues 38 years after a baby was reported missing in Colorado Springs. Denise Alves, who's one of Christopher's sisters, said, "We're not going to stop looking for him. We're not going to stop seeking answers. We are going to continue to do what we have done for 3 decades." All right, so the big one here with all the information, let me find it. Make sure I have the right one. Once again, if it'll load. I get a drink before I start reading. Check your comments while it's loading. Yes, absolutely. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Chris said Christopher's case kind of sounds like Lisa Irwin's case. You are very welcome, Mustang. Absolutely. Miss Doodle has to go fix what? A fart sack? What is that? Oh, goodness. Paula wants to know if they arrested anyone. Not that I know of in this case. No, ma'am. All right, so all right, this is from a website called coldcaseworld.com. Don't know exactly when it was done. It might give a date. So on the night of July 14th, Bernice, a mother of 7 children, gave her 7-month-old baby boy his last bottle at around 12:30 a.m., put him in his crib for a good night's sleep. The little bed was located in the master bedroom next to her own bed. So that means if we believe the story about the parents, that the parents came up with or have, not saying, just saying, he was kidnapped from his crib right by their bed. I mean, I know some people are very heavy sleepers, but just something to think about. So Bernice also went to sleep, but woke up at around 6 a.m. She looked at the crib and noticed that her baby wasn't in it anymore. She searched the entire house, but there was no trace of her son. The front door was partially open, though. The panicked mother called the police, and they arrived at 6:45 a.m. Officers searched every inch of the house and found out that a basement window was open and the garage door opener was missing. There was no sign of forced entry at the house. Nothing appeared touched or disturbed. Bernice did tell the police that she had left the front door unlocked the other night so that one of her older children could enter the house after spending the night elsewhere. Police suspected somebody had entered the house through the unlocked front door and kidnapped the 7-month-old baby at a moment when everybody in the house was sleeping. In the afternoon, Bernice spoke during a news conference and emotionally asked the kidnapper to return her son home. In the meantime, police searched the entire area for clues or traces of Christopher, but could not find any evidence linked to his disappearance. Christopher was already missing for 3 weeks when authorities drained Quail Lake, which was just a few miles away from the family's house. The search did not result in any findings. So police started to suspect the couple, the parents, because of the lack of forced entry at the house and due to the lack of any traces of any kind of evidence. They also found it suspicious that nobody in the house had heard something that night. And the kidnapping took place in a period where Bernice and Gil had been having marital problems. And see, I just can't get past, even if you were a heavy sleeper, if the crib was right next to your bed. I mean, I know it's possible, it just happened, but, you know, makes you wonder. So Bernice and Gil, the parents, had marital problems mainly because of Gil's secret affair. A few weeks before, the couple separated for a while, but in the end decided to come back together again. And then that was the night, the first night that father was back was the night that Christopher vanished. And apparently Gil, I don't know if he was sleeping in the bedroom also with the mother. It just says he was sleeping in the family home again. The police decided to let Bernice take a polygraph test, to which she failed twice. She attributed the failed exams to stress and withdrawal of medication that she had been using. She stated that she was treated harshly by the police and had a 6-hour-long interrogation before she took the first test. Authorities never charged the couple, but they also never cleared them. Bernice always denied having anything to do with the disappearance of her son. It said well, they're passed away now, but it said both her and her husband believe to this day that somebody abducted their child. After the failed polygraphs, Christopher's family decided to investigate the disappearance themselves. Gil stopped working to focus on the search. And 2 of Christopher's sisters dropped out of school to participate. The family decided to set up a hotline where anybody could give any information about the case. They even took it a step further by forming their own organization called Families of Missing Children, Inc. The family eventually sold their house and spent close to $1 million in their investigations. They hired private detectives. They also trailed potential suspects themselves, which is very dangerous and could also mess up the investigation. Christopher's family traveled to Mexico to publicize about the case and to follow up on leads, but also advanced through the states to find potential traces. Bernice, Gil, and the family came up with several interesting scenarios over the years. For example, they found out that the person who signed his birth certificate had lost a baby herself, and that this woman had quit her job at the hospital the day before Christopher's disappearance. Could be something, could just be a coincidence. Not much later, she apparently moved to Australia. In another scenario, Gil's mistress, Emma, came into the picture. She not only had a history of burglaries, but also of alleged stalking cases. At one point, she even went into a former partner's house to remove the family photos from the wall. So we have a little bit of going on here. Although Emma most likely was a person of interest at some point, police never found any evidence to link her to the case. So through the years, there have been a handful of men that claimed to be Christopher, and although they sometimes did not receive much attention from the media, they, like we talked about earlier, their evidence was, or their DNA was checked against the DNA of the family, and it ruled them out. Once again, the mother passed away on February 12th, 2017 at the age of 73. And the father, Gil, passed away of a heart attack in August of 2020. But Christopher's siblings, so it said there were 7 in all, so 6 siblings, are still looking to find answers and never gave up their search for him. So that's just some interesting. And I thought it mentioned something in this article about destroying the police department, destroying all the evidence. But it may have been another one that I was looking at. Just a obviously a horrible, heartbreaking case. But I mean, this is one that if just looking at scenarios, if the parents didn't have anything to do with it, and somebody did take him and didn't do something nefarious to him, I mean, he could still be out there. How old did it say it would be? 30, around 39? Possible, possible. Just make sure I got all the articles in. All right, let me check your comments right quick. I'll turn my cam off while I'm doing comments because I feel like I'm leaning into the camera here. Let's see. Let me get back down. I keep forgetting to mark where I left off. Okay, there we go. Oh, Miss Doodle's back. She made it back. Oh, she's got the eyes. Oh, there they are. Yes, thank you. I'm not the only one. So Miss Doodle says, well, now I have questions. So the crib was in her room and someone napped him. How did, never mind. That was first thing when I read that is, I know you have heavy sleepers and I know it has happened before, but I mean, come on. It's just, they said the bed, they literally said the crib was right up next to the bed that at least the mother was sleeping in. I don't know if the father was in the bedroom, the bed too. It just said he was sleeping somewhere in the home. But yeah, that's my question. How could you not? Well, yeah, I didn't think about that. Arthur says, I mean, if I take my meds as prescribed, a tornado can pick me up and drop me in Oz and I'd sleep through it. Yeah, I did say, was it tranquilizers? So that might have had something to do with it. So I can see that. I can see that. I mean, that is the only way I can see that she would not wake up. I mean, but yeah, it did say, I believe it was tranquilizers that she was taking. So it is possible then that somebody could have come in and, yeah, but Doodle says, but you don't have an infant. True. Thank you, Miss Barb. Yeah, Doodle says, but new moms are exhausted anyway, so it's possible. It's possible. Yeah. But still, yeah, still red flaggy. Yep, Arctic says it does sound fishy, especially with her failing a polygraph. Yeah, twice. Yep, twice. Sorry, I'm having problems getting these to come up. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I have 2 cats too, and I know Arthur has cats, and probably a lot of us have cats and or dogs. But Junior said, my cats wake me up walking around at night. How could you not hear someone stealing your baby in the same room? Exactly. I mean, the only thing I could think of is how many tranquilizers did she take? But yeah, my cats, I might not hear them if they're walking around unless they're just wreaking havoc and knocking stuff off the counters or whatever. But yeah, definitely if they come in my room and jump up on the chair that they like to sleep in or jump up on the bed with me, it definitely wakes me up. Now, I'm not usually a very heavy sleeper, but yeah, I mean, yeah, Paula says red flaggy. Oh goodness, Miss Barb says my mom got robbed while she was sleeping on the couch, but she was intoxicated. Yeah, it might have a little bit to do with it. Yeah. Paula says suspects. The only ones they mentioned was the family are considered suspects, but then again, they have not been charged. The only other one it mentioned was this Emma, who was apparently the mistress of the father. Let me go back through the article and make sure I didn't miss anybody. Now it says the family came up with some potential, but now it didn't give any names, and that's not official. So, or they came up with some interesting scenarios. It said. Yeah, but the only ones they mentioned as suspects were the parents and this Emma, who was the mistress. That's a good point. Also, Chris says, I see red flags, but I think it's a crazy case, and I'll be looking at neighbors. That's also a possibility. Yes, Doodles says that's why I'm so thankful for the DNA sites. Yes, ma'am. Yep, you never know, you know. Yep, that's a good point. Arctic says parents look suspicious, but if they really spent, they must have got a lot for that house. If they really spent $1 million looking for him, it's doubtful that they're involved, in my opinion. Yeah, I can see that point. Absolutely. Everybody's making good points. And Doodle countered with, but if you had millions, why wouldn't you cover your own butt, though? I can see that. I can see both sides. Both sides. That's why I love reading chat. That's why I read chat. You guys always are so smart. Doodle says, well, someone knew the house and probably the family to be that brave. Absolutely. I agree with you on that. All right. So I think that is all I had on little Christopher. Oh, all right. Take that down before I forget and see who we have next. Should have already been loading the article or the this should be Gloria Berreth. Gloria has been missing since October 4th, 1994. Once again, I told you, Colorado Springs. I think on Doodles, was it Missouri the other day, Doodle, that or yesterday when you were doing your missing hour, whatever site you were using, I think it's the Aware Foundation or one of them. Most of them were from Missouri. So tonight we got Colorado Springs. So she's been missing from Colorado Springs. She is an Asian female. She was 38 years old when she went missing. She'll be 69 years old as of 2025. At the time she went missing, she was 5 foot to 5'2" and 115 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. She is of Filipino descent. It says that she has had 3 cesarean sections with resulting scarring on her abdomen. No description of what clothing she was wearing. So Gloria was last seen in Colorado Springs at around 6:30 a.m. on October 4th, 1994. She called her cousin and said her ex-husband, Michael Berreth, had paged her and wanted to meet her for breakfast at the Perkins Oh, I remember Perkins restaurants. I think we had one around here. At the Perkins restaurant at Platt Avenue and Shelton Road. Michael said she never arrived at the restaurant and he waited till around 7 a.m. before he gave up and left. She also did not show up for her afternoon shift at the Peterson Air Force Base Exchange. After that, she has never been seen or heard from again. Weeks later, her maroon and red four-door 1991 Ford Escort or Ford Taurus was found abandoned at the Hancock Plaza Shopping Center. So it says Gloria and Michael had been divorced since 1993. She had custody of their 2 young daughters. He had remarried. But they were going to she wanted to meet him for breakfast, but he had remarried. Maybe they're going to talk about the kids. Their relationship, it says their relationship was very bad. Gloria had a restraining order against Michael and claimed that he had violated the order twice in the late spring of 1994. So that's the year she went missing. Okay. Michael's then wife, apparently they divorced later on, said her husband was, quote, sweating profusely the morning that Gloria disappeared, and he appeared excited. He is considered a person of interest in her disappearance. He has refused to cooperate with the police in her case, but there is insufficient evidence to file charges against anyone. So it said, once again, and this is in Colorado Springs, right? Colorado Springs. During a cleanup of their evidence storage areas in 2005, the Colorado Springs Police Department threw away all the evidence they collected in Gloria's case. Foul play is suspected in her disappearance, which remains unsolved. So once again, if you have any information, call the Colorado Springs Police Department if they're competent enough to answer the phone. Sorry. I need to be more professional. At 719-444-7615. All right, read a couple of comments and then I do believe I have, get it loading here. Let me find the right article. Oh, guess what? If it'll come up, it's the article about all the evidence being tossed. Let's see. Yes, Doodle says it'll come up. Gloria has a beautiful smile. Absolutely. She is a beautiful lady. See, yeah, that's what I don't understand. Yeah, Arctic says, well, why meet him for breakfast if you have a restraining order? So that's what I wonder, because I thought, well, maybe they're meeting and it could, to talk about the kids. But then, you go down and it says that they had a bad relationship. They were divorced. He was remarried. She wanted to have breakfast, but she had a restraining order against him. I don't know. Don't know. Just don't understand. Oh, yeah. See, your sarcasm and you're rubbing off on me, Arctic. Oh, goodness. I'm telling you, it just drives me nuts. Doodle says she's proud of Arctic. Yes, he's teaching me well. All right. I'm caught up, so I will mark that one. All right. Oh, geez. Hold on, I'm pushing buttons. Watch out. All right, so this is from, and hopefully it won't throw me behind the paywall, the Denver Post. It is from 2007. Key evidence tossed in Colorado Springs. Again. So it says, when Colorado Springs police, sorry, my nose itching. Threw out more than 5,000 pieces of evidence last year, which would have been 2006. They downplayed the impact. Lieutenant Raphael Cintron, who is a department spokesman, says it sounds really worse than it is. Cintron told the Denver Post in September that his department had notified the victims and, quote, all the families involved. But it says that is not so. The families of 2 missing women and suspected homicide victims whose evidence was tossed learned of the sweep from the Post months after police realized those cases were affected. Dolores Inman, whose 31-year-old daughter, Sherry Bynum, that name sounds familiar, disappeared after a football game in 1987, says, why was I not contacted? I do have some right to know that I may spend the rest of my life never knowing what happened to her. Police tossed all the physical evidence in Sherry Bynum's case. They also destroyed all the evidence from the 1994 disappearance of Gloria Berreth, who we're talking about, whose parents and daughters never heard from her after she said she was going to meet her former husband, Michael, for an early breakfast at a Colorado Springs diner. Colorado Springs Police Lieutenant Skip Arms says at this point, certainly fingers would point at him. He's still a person of interest, talking about the husband. Michael Berreth refused to talk about Gloria's disappearance. He says, I have no comment on anything pertaining to the case. Karina, the woman who Michael married after Gloria and has since divorced, remembers him sweating profusely the morning of Gloria's disappearance. She said, I have never seen him so excited in my life. Sorry, I'm trying to block ads. El Paso County court records show that in 1999, Katrina Berreth reported that Michael Berreth threatened her. If she went against his wishes, she, quote, would end up like the last person and they aren't around, she reported Michael saying. So one day while riding with Michael on his motorcycle, Karina says she struck up a conversation about Gloria. And he said, quote, you know, they're just never going to find her. You know, you just never know where she is. She could be right underneath us right now. You'd never know. That doesn't sound suspicious at all. Gloria Berreth's father, I'm going to try not to butcher this name, Eliodoro Montez, paused for almost a minute when the Post told him that police scrapped all 12 pieces of evidence from her case, including a camera, a calendar, and a handgun. He says, so what shall I do with this new information? It has been 12 years already. I'm waiting for 12 years. What's the result of the case? How do you solve a case without evidence? Oh, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Unbelievable. They threw away, that they're admitting to, 5,000 pieces of evidence in homicide case. Some, at least 2 homicide, or 1 known homicide case, and Gloria's, I think it's considered a homicide case. Unreal. All right, turn off my cam again while I'm reading comments so I don't feel like my big fat face is in the camera. And so I can get a hit off my vape, get it calm down a little bit. Oh goodness, I see echoes this here. Hold on. Let me get back down to where I was at. I was getting worried about you, bub. I hadn't seen you for a while. Okay, there's where I was at. Yes. Leave it to, yes, Arctic said it. Oh goodness. Yep. Oh goodness. Leave it to my brother. What? Oh, Doodle says, come up. Oh goodness, says we need a goggles emoji. Oh good. I'm just gonna set, I can't read that out loud. I'm just gonna let that sit there for a minute. I'll leave it to my, I almost put you in timeout. No, I almost put Doodle in timeout, sorry. Oh. Yes, hello everyone from Echoes. Yes, I'm living on the wild side. Yeah. Oh goodness, I almost put Doodle in timeout again. She's gonna faint when she sees chat. So yeah, I've learned now how to go in when I'm scheduling. I have to do it on the computer, but when I'm after I've scheduled the live stream on StreamYard, I can go in and set it to show the chat if you're watching on replay, so I can go by and see anything that I may have missed. Very entertaining. Hey, there is nothing wrong with Rocky Horror Picture Show. I love that movie. It's not for everybody, but it's a good movie. You can never go wrong with, well, that whole cast, especially with Tim Curry. You can never go wrong. Oh goodness. Oh yeah, right. Doodle says she's glad she's innocent. I'll just let that sit right there too. So they admitted to 5,000 pieces. So that I believe it's probably more than that if they said 5,000. That's just my opinion. You deserve, wait, hold on. You deserve what once a night? To be Doodle to be put in timeout? Oh, Miss Farr, see, Miss Farr loves Rocky Horror. I love Rocky Horror. It's been a long time. I usually watch it around. I can watch it any time, but I usually watch it around Halloween time. Oh goodness, a bunch of things popped up. Oh, Miss Barbara likes it. Oh goodness gracious, Miss Barbara likes it too. I think that's what she was talking about. Oh, time out. Oh, you deserve to be put. No, Miss Doodle never deserves to be put in time out. All right. Hold on. Let me get a drink. Might have to put something stronger in my tea. All right. We shall get back to business. Okay. Yes. Echo says, I love Rocky Horror. I watch it and the original Night of the Living Dead. Absolutely. Every Halloween. Yep. Can't go wrong with Bruce Campbell either. Absolutely. Okay. So who are we on next? Y'all got me all confused here. This should be Keith Robert Anderson. And that is the one and only picture that I could find on the Google machine. Okay, so this is Keith Robert Anderson. He has been missing since February 5th, 1984 from Grand County, Colorado. Don't know if that's anywhere close to Colorado Springs. He is a white male. He was 22 years old when he went missing. He'll be, 63 years old as of 2025. At the time he went missing, he was 6'3", 190 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Once again, no clothing description. So Keith was last seen at a horse barn in Grand County, Colorado on February 5th. He boarded his horse at the barn, which was owned by Vernon Spud Weaver. He has never been seen or heard from again. After his disappearance, his truck was found idling near the barn with his German Shepherd dog in the back, but there was no sign of, almost forgot his name, Keith. Police later found Keith's blood on some manure in the barn. Witnesses reported hearing several gunshots in the area. The day after Keith's disappearance, Vernon Spud Weaver, reported that his .44 caliber handgun was missing, conveniently, from under the seat of his truck where he normally kept it. So, even from that, David Russell Buttel, who is the smaller picture on the slide, is the prime suspect in Keith's disappearance. Apparently, he had left his wife and children in Illinois and moved to Colorado with a girlfriend. And then the girlfriend left him and moved in with Keith. So it got like a little triangle going on here. A witness saw Mr. Buttel's truck near Keith's ranch with something wrapped in blankets in the back. Just make of that what you will. So David Russell Buttel admitted that he was in Weaver's barn on the day of Keith's disappearance. He also boarded 2 horses there. His story was that Keith got a bloody nose before he walked outside of the barn. He also stated that he noticed that Keith's horse was injured, and the horse died 2 days later, and a .44 caliber bullet was found in the body of the horse, which is Spud reported his .44 caliber handgun was missing from under the seat of his truck. So Mr. Buttel refused to take a lie detector test. He left the area shortly afterwards. 4 months after Keith's disappearance, Weaver's gun was found on Ute Pass. Police were unable to match it to the bullet in the horse because the gun barrel was too rusted, apparently. Mr. Buttel's current whereabouts are unknown. He would now be in his 60s. He has not faced any charges in Keith's disappearance. Keith's father is still alive and looking for him, and his case remains unsolved. So, if you have any information, you can call the Grand County Sheriff's Department at 970-725-3343. And let me see what I was able to find. Hopefully it won't throw me behind the paywall. The Denver Post. This is from the Denver Post, and it is from April of 2016. And the headline: Man believed unalived in Grand County love triangle. Keith Anderson, 22. Oh, hold on. That's just Bob Anderson flew to German Valley, Illinois several years ago to attend the funeral of a man he had never met. Anderson, then 71 years old, was hoping he would find the man's son, David Russell Battelle, mourning at the funeral. He wanted to ask Battelle where he had buried his son, Keith. Keith's father said, "We thought he would show up for his dad's funeral." Battelle didn't show up, however, and the mystery of where Keith Anderson's body lies continues. In the years after the disappearance and suspected homicide of their son Keith, Bob and his wife Joanne hired a private investigator and a psychic to track the elusive Mr. Battelle. Keith's father said he just totally disappeared. Everything is a dead end for us. We don't know if he changed his name or if he is deceased. It's been a very weird thing. Anderson clearly remembers the day in February 1984 that he got a call from Vernon Spud Weaver, who said Keith boarded a horse in his barn and that Keith's truck was left idling near the barn with his German Shepherd in the back, but there was no sign of Keith. Bob Anderson knew something was very wrong. His other son called the Grand County Sheriff's Department. Deputies opened an investigation, according to Keith's father. Once again, they found Keith's blood on some horse manure in the barn. And apparently that was it. Yeah, so like I said, maybe possibly a love triangle in this one. At any rate. All right, let me see once again. I feel like my face is too close to the camera. Let me see. FARQ approves of Echo's movie selections. I do also. Yep, lots of red flags. Yep, Arctic, far. Okay, so Chris says Grand County is where Rocky Mountain National Park is. Thank you. Ooh, Paula's grabbing the last bowl of Cheerios. Ooh, Cheerios sounds good. All right, so that was Keith. So Mr. Battelle disappeared shortly after. So that would be obviously my number one person of interest. All right. Next we have this should be Marie Ann Blee. She's probably the second youngest of the night. The youngest was little Christopher, which was, what, 7 months old. One second. All right. So this is Marie Ann Blee. She's been missing since November 21st, 1979 from Craig, Colorado. She is a white female. She was just 15 years old when she went missing. She'll be 61 years old as of 2025. At the time she went missing, she was 5'3", 100 to 115 pounds, with blonde hair and blue eyes. She had a dental retainer in 1979, but she was not wearing it at the time that she went missing. And it said her orthodontic braces were removed 3 months prior to her disappearance. Last known clothing was a V-neck top with a purple collar, a brown velveteen vest, blue jeans, a green ski jacket with red and white trim, and a leather rope necklace with 3 handmade multicolored beads. And, I didn't put the age progression. And I'll get to the gentleman, the smaller picture here in a minute. All right, so Marie attended a 4-H dance at the Pavilion in Craig, Colorado on November 21st, 1979. Afterwards, she went to a party at the Shadow Mountain Village mobile home park with her friend named Marty. That is not Marty. Some of Marie's female friends were with them also, and they became alarmed because people at the party were using substances, and most of the guests were male. So Marie's girlfriends decided to leave as a result, but Marie stayed behind. Let me make sure. Okay, no. So Doolin, who was Marie's friend, Marty, later told investigators that Marie said that she had a ride back to her hometown of Hayden, Colorado, with an unidentified driver between 1:30 and 2 a.m. on November 21st. Doolin stated that this was the last time that he saw Marie. Other witnesses placed Marie at a store in Craig in the early morning hours. However, many of the partygoers' statements conflicted one another, and there is still confusion as to when Marie was actually last seen. Marie's parents filed a missing persons report with the police in Hayden when she did not return home the following morning. She has never been seen or heard from again. So police initially suspected that Marie was a runaway. She had run away from home, but her parents said it was not in her character for her to run away. Authorities have admitted the initial investigation into her disappearance was mishandled, and crucial witnesses and possible suspects were not interviewed. What is it with Colorado? Is Grand, did we establish it's not Colorado Springs? A week after Marie's disappearance, Doolin, the boy that she was at the party with, was arrested on extortion charges. He admitted to calling Marie's family and demanding $5,000 for Marie's safe return. POS. Doolin pleaded guilty to telephone harassment, and he was sentenced to 6 months in jail and 2 years on probation. So he was later convicted of an unrelated SA. He maintains that he knows nothing about Marie's disappearance, and he made the call only to give her family hope that she was still alive. Whatever. Numerous rumors have circulated about Marie's disappearance, ranging from she ran away, to she was a victim of a homicide. There has been speculation for years that she had passed away of an OD at the party, and that her body was buried somewhere in Craig. Authorities said that witness statements supported that theory. Her case was reopened by authorities in 1999, but excavations to this point have been unsuccessful at locating any evidence connected to her disappearance. Authorities eventually identified 2 persons of interest in Marie's disappearance besides Marty Doolin. Max Abel Garcia and Steve Skufka, who is the gentleman on the smaller picture. All of them denied involvement in her case. Skufka was later convicted of substance charges. He was sentenced to 12 years in prison. He was then paroled. He passed away in an accident in 2012, and to the end, he maintained his innocence in Marie's disappearance. Marie was a sophomore at Hayden High School at the time she went missing. It says she was a good student. She was a former Girl Scout and a member of 4-H, and she helped manage her school wrestling team. Her case remains unsolved. Foul play is suspected. So if you have any information in Marie's case, You can call the Moffat County Sheriff's Office at 970-824-4495 or the Routt County Sheriff's Office at 970-879-1090. Let me see what I had on her. I think I had a couple of short articles. All right, so this one is from June of 2000, and it has some statements from her family. After 20 years, a renewed investigation into the disappearance of a Moffat County teen has turned up several new leads and provided slight but significant hope of answering the question on buttons worn by residents in northwestern Colorado, where's Marie? It feels like we're closer than we've ever been to finding her, says Mona Blee, who is Marie's mother. She says, it's a very, very difficult, but it's so positive that people are putting forth the effort and really care. Led by the Moffat County Sheriff's Department, a task force of local and federal investigators has conducted more than 200 interviews across the country, dredging up foggy memories and still sharp pain, and begun visiting specific sites in the search for Marie. Under Sheriff Jerry Holberg says, we just want to bring some closure to this case, or at least give it a proper attention. We just want to solve this case for the sake of the parents and the community. The puzzling case of Marie Blee began the day before Thanksgiving in 1979, when the vivacious teen left her mobile home in Hayden to go to a dance and then a late night party, the last place anyone saw her. Authorities speculate she could have run away, been abducted, and her life taken, or more likely, OD'd on the hard substances being used at the party and later being buried by frightened acquaintances. So, entirely possible. Under Sheriff Holberg says, technically, this is just a missing persons case. We're pretty well resigned to the fact that she is deceased, but until we find a body, we will never know. And while Mona and Paul Blee accept that dispassionate assessment of their daughter's situation, they still maintain their old telephone number hooked to an answering machine, and one of Marie's stepbrothers lives in the trailer just in case. I've heard that so many times in these cold cases where parents will live in the same house, they'll keep the same phone number just in case. I mean, and you can't blame them. Just so sad. Just makes me want to cry every time I read that. Her mother Mona says, I'm sure that there's always that corner that as long as she has not appeared, maybe she is still alive. Those hopes have diminished over the years, but until we see remains, I guess we know that that's what we're going to find, but it's not an easy thing to accept. The hardest thing, she said, is simply not knowing. Absolutely. She says, it's terrible. It's the kind of thing that eats away at you. Authorities acknowledge that they face a difficult task in solving a 20-year-old case, one that they concede may not have been properly handled by bickering law enforcement agencies back then. Still, they have come up with a string of new names of potential witnesses and a number of possible burial sites that they are visiting. Authorities excavated a suspicious hump in a Hayden yard, disappointed to only find sandbags and clay. Under Sheriff Holberg says, some days I think we're really close, and some days it's like, are we ever going to get anything done? Under new leadership, the Sheriff's Department from Routt and Moffat counties are working cooperatively with the Hayden Police Department. This is according to the District Attorney's Office and the FBI, or they're working with the District Attorney's Office and the FBI. Bone fragments discovered were analyzed and dismissed. A lock of high school sophomore's hair kept by Marie's family was used for a DNA sample. And one by one, everyone at the party is being tracked down and interviewed. At least 25 of them were interviewed at that point for the very first time. Under Sheriff Holberg says most people are cooperative and try to help. A lot of them say, I just can't remember. I mean, it was a long time ago, but some of them say, I was at the party, so-and-so was there, and we find someone new. Over the years, 3 main suspects have been under scrutiny, including Monty Doolin, who is the friend that she was with, the one who called and demanded ransom to give her family hope. A high school graduate who took Marie to the party and who subsequently was convicted of making a phone call to the Blees demanding $5,000 ransom. But under Sheriff Holberg notes, but unless she was the victim of a homicide, the statute of limitations on any crime has long run out, and someone with the information should feel confident to come forward. He says, as cops, you're always going, why can't we get this one solved? Why can't we close this one? Why can't we put this one to rest? But we are not giving up. An unidentified family friend of the Blees also has been offering insights about Marie's whereabouts, similar feelings to those that in 1995 led to the discovery of a body of another missing 15-year-old from the area, Marie Opsel of Palisade. Mona, the mother, says this has been like looking for a needle in a haystack. She's just giving us other places to look. It's another lead, despite moving from the area for a period of years and then coming back to Grand Junction to retire. The Blees have retained the sense of urgency and gravity that only parents can harbor. But dredging up the memories has not been easy for the couple, who rely on each other and their faith for support. Mona says, I sometimes wonder what she would look like now. I can't imagine why, after 20 years, nobody is willing to come forward and say, this is what happened. It's terribly frustrating. I just wish someone would call. It's always so hard to make it through reading the statements from the parents. And I think I did have another article about Mr. Doolin, about his arrest for, was it SA? Hold on, let me find it. All right, here it is. So this article is from June of 2015. So this is very interesting. A suspect in Marie Blee cold case arrested on suspicion of kidnapping a different Routt County teenager more than 30 years ago. A man who has been a suspect in the disappearance 35 years ago of Hayden teenager Marie Blee was arrested last week on suspicion of kidnapping and essaying a different Routt County teenager near Hayden around the time of Marie's disappearance. A grand jury for the 14th Judicial District on May 29th indicted Monty Dean Doolin, who was at that time 53 years old, on a charge of first-degree kidnapping, which is a Class 1 felony. The indictment was unsealed, alleges that Doolin, in the summer of 1978 or 79, enticed the female teenager to ride with him in his vehicle from Elkhead Reservoir toward Hayden. According to the indictment, Doolin then pulled his vehicle over in an isolated location somewhere between the reservoir and Hayden, stepped out of the vehicle, and it says immediately upon his return to the vehicle, he forcibly engaged in SA with the victim against her will, choking her, restraining her, and forcibly removing her clothes in the process. As a result, the victim suffered bodily injury. Doolin then let the victim leave and go home, according to the indictment. So, of course, the victim was not named because she was a minor. It says she was around the same age as Doolin at the time of the alleged assault. Doolin turned 17 in the summer of 1978 and 18 in the summer of 1979. It says that he was taken into custody in Alaska. He was being held in Alaska until he was returned to Routt County to face charges. According to the possible timeline of the crime included in the indictment, the kidnapping of the teenager occurred more than a year or just months before Marie disappeared. So Doolin told authorities that Marie got a ride home from an unknown person about 2 a.m. A week after Marie's disappearance. Once again, he called the family demanding the money. 20 years later, a task force formed to investigate the case. Visited Doolin in Grand Junction. He continued to maintain he had no involvement in Marie's disappearance. District Attorney Brett Barkey said in a press release that Doolin's recent arrest was not directly related to the ongoing investigation of Marie's disappearance. And he was apparently held without bond for this other charge. So yeah, he's not was not a good young fella, apparently, or obviously. So I think that was all I had on her. Let me see. All right. That might be the last one we had. Anyway, let me get caught up in your comments. Get a drink. Get back down to where I was. I think I forgot to mark again. Oh, there we go. Oh, Junior was going to bed. Night, Junior. I probably missed him. Thank you for being here, sir. It's always good to have Junior here. Yes. Chris says the guy in the picture looks very shady. Yes, that was not Doolin. That was another man. I forgot his name. Hold on. Skufka. Let me find the Charlie Project information again. That was Steven Skufka. He was so it doesn't say why a guy named Max and this Skufka guy were persons of interest. Of course, they denied any involvement. To me, my number one would be Mr. Doolin. That's just my opinion, though. Let's see. Everybody's saying good night to Junior. Oh, hey, Crimezilla. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you here. It's all right. You're not late. You're fine. You can always watch replay. You can be replay crew for whatever you missed. Mustang still here. Far still here. How far am I behind? Oh, I'm not. I'm almost caught up. Yes, absolutely wonderful to see you too. All right, I think I'm caught up. That might have been the last one that we had. Yep, that was the last one we had. We did that fast. We're at an hour and 38 minutes. I think that's a record. All right. Has anybody got anything else? I'm going to check one more time for any updates about the Amber Alert. I don't see any updates. But once again, let me see if I can get the picture back up there for anybody who may have came in late. Hold on, I got to get down to what I'm looking for here. I hate doing this on the phone. Put the picture up there. Once again, whatever. Uh, Police have issued an Amber Alert for a missing 4-year-old boy, and this is out of Norfolk, Virginia. An Amber Alert was issued for Kai Foreman around 2:41 p.m. Monday. Police say he was abducted at around 11:40 a.m. by 27-year-old Tylee Scott. That's the one on the left on the slide, and they believe that little Kai is in extreme danger. Little Kai was last seen wearing a gray and black True Religion shirt, black basketball shorts, and red Crocs. He is 3 feet 6 inches tall, 40 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Tylee Scott, the alleged abductor, is 6'1", 173 pounds, with black hair and small braids and brown eyes. He was last seen wearing khakis, a plaid shirt, and a ski mask. The two were last seen on foot. Police say the abduction is connected to a shooting that happened earlier Monday around 11:35 a.m. Officers responded to the 900 block of East Liberty Street, which is where Kai was last seen. A woman who's believed to be his mother was found lying in the front yard of a home. She was pronounced deceased at the scene. This article says police did not specify what the relationship is between the child and the abductor. In some articles, it said that someone was told that Tylee is Kai's father. That has not been confirmed. So just take it with a grain of salt. But the police did say that they did know each other, and that the police believe that this is not a random this was targeted. This was not a random act of violence. As Norfolk Police Chief Mark Talbot says, we believe that this was a targeted event. Once again, anyone with information is encouraged to call 911 or the Norfolk Police at 757-664-7000. You can also leave an anonymous tip with the crime line at 1-888-LOCK-YOU-UP. LOCKUUP. So once again, that is little Kai. I'll leave that up for a minute while I get oh, hold on. Wait, we have questions. All right, let me take that down so I can hold on. I saw yes, prayers for the families, absolutely. Okay, Ms. Farr says, can I just ask before we go for prayers or anything? Absolutely. I have a missing loved one. He passed away almost 3 weeks ago, and I can't find him. I can't explain, but I have a lawyer on it, investigation into it. Absolutely. Yes, thoughts, prayers, good vibes. Yes, ma'am. And if there comes a time when you can divulge any more information, don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. Absolutely. Thank you, Arctic. Please do check out all these wonderful creators and mods. Thank you for everybody that has a ranch, which is most everybody. Please check out Miss Paula. Please check out Miss Doodle. Please check out Arctic, Crimezilla. Anybody else? Dave. I hadn't seen Dave. He's working. True Crime Web. All all our friends. Please do checking them out. Oh, what happened in Peru? Chris says thoughts and prayers going to the people of Peru. What did I miss? I have not heard anything about Peru. Yes, absolutely. Prayers. Yep. Absolutely. Oh, shoot. No. Far says thank you. Absolutely. Just want to find him so I can lay him to rest. Absolutely. So can you say how you found out, how you came to find out that he passed away? Not how he passed away, but how did you find out that he had passed away? If you can say anything. Thank you, Miss Doodle. Says good night, sleep well, and feel loved. Many hugs and prayers for Far. Absolutely. Thank you, Mustang. Says, thank you, Southern Gala Mods, the best place. Thank you. No, we have the best people. You make this everybody, all of y'all make this the good place. Absolutely. Yes, Mr. Steve. Thank you, Miss Farr, once again. This is a great live. Thank you. Mods, chat, stay safe, love and light. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, guys. All right, so I'm trying to think. It's hard for me. You guys know that. So this thinking this Friday night is family game night, so I might try to do another live stream maybe Thursday night. Once again, if nothing comes up and if I can get the farm signal to hold out, I'll find something we can talk about. I was thinking about, would you guys be interested in the Amityville, not necessarily the horror part of it, but just that whole story, the story of the DeFeos. Would any of you guys be interested in talking about that? If so, that's an idea I've had to talk about. Or just whatever you guys can, I'll put a post up and you guys can let me know, give me suggestions of what we can talk about. But I've had an article and some stuff worked up about the Amityville house, the DeFeo family, that whole thing. That's always been interesting to me. And then the whole scam, the haunted part of it with the oh God, their name just the married couple that was supposedly the psychics and the paranormal investigators. I can't think of their name. Anyway, okay, so hold on. Farr says, I am next to a kin and power of attorney. They moved him from my town's hospital far away. I saw someone in a supermarket and they told me that he passed away. So they moved him and they didn't tell you, and you're the next of kin and power of attorney. How can they do that? So sorry. Yes, Farr says it is a long, unbelievable story that I don't believe I'm actually living. Oh, Peru had an earthquake. Oh, shoot, almost deleted it. Okay, so Chris said Peru had an earthquake. There's also, I believe, wasn't there an earthquake in Alaska too today or yesterday or at some point? Yep, definitely prayers. Absolutely. Yes, thank you. The Warrens. Like, for some reason, their name always escapes me. So Farr says she has not been told anything, not even that he's officially deceased. That's why she has a lawyer. Yeah, they can't. Yeah, she says they can't do that. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness, bless your heart. Yeah, so they had I'd read about the earthquake in Alaska, so I hadn't heard about the one in Peru. Yeah, thoughts and prayers to everybody affected everywhere. All right, guys, I'm going to quit babbling now. So I will, like I said, if nothing comes up, let me get a multitask here. Find my outro video. Of course, it's probably at the bottom. Come on. Everything's so hard to get to. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. I hate working off the phone. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're gonna get out of here. Thank you, everybody. Those here in chat. Thank you, lurkers. Thank you, replay crew. Replay crew is awesome. Everybody have a good week. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We're all we got. And if everything works out, I will see you guys Thursday. Thanks, guys.